everyone, welcome to the Pet Stop. I'm Deborah Gilbert, and each week I will be visiting various pet shelters where we will see dogs and cats that very badly need adopting. Occasionally we will have a rabbit, a pig, or even a horse that needs a loving home too. There is a large need for a program like this, and I sincerely hope that we will have many successful pet adoptions stemming from this program. We will give you the phone numbers at the end of this program for each of these shelters we visit in hopes that you will call. If already some of these animals are adopted, please don't give up. Many of them need help. This week we will be visiting the Northeast Animal Shelter and the Animal Rescue League, both located in Salem. Please join me now as we make our first pet stop. We're here at the Animal Rescue League of Boston, and with me is Paula Ouimet, and she is the manager here and is going to explain to us a little bit more about the Animal Rescue League.
Yes, the Animal Rescue League was founded in 1899 by Anna Harris Smith and has been an organization very deeply involved in the protection and care of animals ever since. Today's principles are exactly the same as they were nearly 100 years ago. We have a full-service facility. We are responsible for owned pets that have been turned in and surrendered to us. We evaluate animals for adoption based on their adoptable qualities and place them in qualified homes, hopefully to have long life in a loving home. We also respond to injured animal calls. We act as legislations passing for the protection of animals. We have a law enforcement facility. We have a clinic. The Animal Rescue League services an enormous amount of animals in the entire state on a regular basis. We have a shelter in Boston, Dedham, Brewster, and here in Salem. So the total of the 4 shelters plus the clinic and the law enforcement agency covers a very wide variety of services for the state and the animals as is necessary. Winston is a purebred Dalmatian. He's about 2.5 years old. He's a very strong dog with a very strong mind of his own. He will test you. He will try to divide and conquer in a household. So he needs somebody that is willing to do what's right for him and keep him in line. But he is a gorgeous dog, full of love as well. Winston's pure strength is also going to provide a situation where he can't be placed with small children. Winston, sit. He has gone through obedience training, and he does know his commands, but he does need them reinforced. If you're strong enough to say to him, sit, and mean it, he will listen. He is gorgeous. He does not like cats. He thinks they're a snack. So he can't be placed with small children or with cats, but somebody who is willing to give him good guidelines and discipline, he'll make an excellent pet for. You can see he is absolutely gorgeous and in beautiful shape, and one very strong dog. This is a bunny that was stray, that one of our employees found in a yard responding to an agent call. And he's a very lovable bunny. He is litter box trained and could be allowed to roam in the house as long as he was monitored carefully. Rabbits are a fairly low maintenance pet. They do need to have their cage cleaned on a regular basis. They need their nails and teeth monitored. Their nails need to be clipped on a regular basis, and their teeth either need to be trimmed at a veterinarian, or if they're fed a proper amount of chew sticks and so on, they can kind of keep them down on their own, but they need to be watched. They need to be fed a balanced diet of pellets and fresh foods and vegetables. And you do have to be very cautious with wires and woodwork with bunnies. They are naturally drawn to them. But he loves to be held, he loves to be cuddled, and he loves to hide his face in you. So we'll try to turn him around and get a good look at him, but he'd prefer to be snuggled first. Yeah. Maybe we should call him Snuggles. Yeah. But he's a very affectionate rabbit. He's a wonderful guy. Mo's a 9-month-old terrier lab, we believe, cross. He's a little timid. He takes a while to warm up to people. I think he's kind of confused as to what's happened in his life. But as you can see, once he has started to make that warm up, he wants to crawl up in your lap. He's, again, would have caution in placing him with small children, because small children tend to move quickly and timid dogs need somebody to take the time to go through them, to them. Mo is one of the dogs that very commonly a mistake is made in a young time. The previous owner allowed him to, or gave him shoes to chew on and to play with. That's a very serious mistake because dogs have absolutely no way to know the difference between their shoe and your shoes. So I caution people against letting them play with socks and shoes. They have no way to know what the difference is. So Mo, once he goes home to his new home, is going to have the new owner's shoes and socks kept away and hidden. He's a sweetheart. He is 9 months old. Yeah. And because he is still young, he's going to still need some puppy reinforcement. Needs plenty of activity. And he needs some help coming out of his shell, as he's doing right now. And he's got the wiry hair of a terrier, sort of the body of a small lab, and a furry face.
Oh, sweet face.
This is Peanut, and she's what's known as domestic short hair, and her color pattern is a black tortie. She has been declawed, and she is a very affectionate lap cat. She's a little bit on the chubby side, needs a little bit of a diet and some maintenance on her feeding schedule. She is right now, although we're not supposed to have favorites, she would be my favorite in the windows right now. She's very loving, very outgoing, and that's fairly rare for declawed cats. Once they've been declawed, they tend to be a little bit more aloof, and that, of course, is, and for the most part, but not all of them. This one's a little bit younger. He's about 6-7 months old. Very outgoing, a little bit,
What is
still
his name?
fresh. Now, let me see. His name is Chimes. Of course, it's around Christmas season, so we tend to get into the spirit around here. He's a domestic medium hair, black and tan tiger, sometimes known as black and tan tab. Over here we have a medium hair. Let me get her up.
Oh, the big kitty cats today, Jared.
It's Blackie.
Where's Blackie? I don't know.
This is
Blackie.
Stormy. Stormy's about a year old, 9 months to a year old. She came to us as a stray. She's a medium to long hair gray tortie. And the tortie is the color pattern that we're referring to here is the mixed colors. Not a clear patch color, but mixed colors.
Come on in.
Our cats and kittens are all spayed and neutered before they go home. The fee for the adoption of a cat pending approval is $30.75. We also require a $10 deposit on an educational tape. That tape comes back to us and the deposit is returned. It's about a half an hour long, and we feel that it's very, very important in the information of responsibility of pet ownership. Over here we have the baby.
That little kitty cat.
See what I mean about this one being fresh?
No, not yet.
This is Chris. Chris is a short-haired black and tan tiger. And she has white points,
This is Blackie.
white toes, white belly, white nose. Yeah, she's a beautiful baby. Our cats live together for the most part here, so they have to be able to get along with each other, and that's part of their evaluation of adoptability. And we know they're going to be able to go home and go into multiple family households. Notice this one hasn't stopped for 1 second. So this one needs a home that can put up with him. He's very outgoing. He's not hurting at all. He's very, very gentle, but he's a little bit mouthy. So again, I wouldn't recommend him with particularly small children. Over here, that's a silver tiger. That's Andre, and he's a little nervous by a lot of activity. He's a gorgeous cat. Looks like he's got an attitude on his face all the time. Andre is also a declawed cat, and that's the more likely example that you're going to see a cat that's going to be more withdrawn, a box dweller, hide a little bit more. Sometimes when they add declaw, they have a little tendency of being a little less trusting. You know, they not quite understand why they've had their natural defenses removed from them. Can't blame them myself. Look at him. I'm telling you, if you want something to keep you entertained, Chimes is the one.
Aw.
His name is
Beautiful cat.
Here we are at the Northeast Animal Shelter in Salem. Let's go inside now and have our second pet stop. The Northeast Animal Shelter has been in existence for 15 years now and is a non-profit organization which offers spaying and neutering at no charge for animals adopted. The shelter places approximately 3,000 pets per year, and they are selective in accepting them so that they can guarantee homes for all with a non-destroy policy. Nancy is an adoption counselor here at the shelter and will be showing us some of the animals.
This is Barkley. He's my favorite little puppy in the kennel today. He's a real cutie. He's 3 months old. The young woman that brought him in bought him from a breeder. She had intended to move, and then at the last minute her plans fell through, and where she was living she wasn't allowed to have a puppy. So she came in pretty heartbroken and gave him up. He's a cute little guy.
He's precious.
Yeah, he is. We need a family for him that doesn't have children. Rottweilers are very large dogs when they grow up. And they were bred actually to be guard dogs. So they can be a little bit pushy, and you know, they jump on kids and they do what we call play biting. Their teeth end up on your hands and your clothes and things often. So he's best with an adult household. So we'll find some grown-ups to take care of him. This is Sebastian. He's 2 years old. He's all white, and yes, he does have blue eyes. And what makes him different from our other cats here is that he's deaf. Very often if you find an all-white cat with blue eyes, the cat is deaf. Or if there are two different colored eyes, one of them being blue, the cat is deaf on that side. And again, it's all white cats. And there are certain things to take into consideration if you adopt a cat like this. His owner told us he really likes to get up on high places like knick-knack shelves, and he has a tendency to knock things off. But he doesn't mind because he can't hear them when they fall on the floor and break. So he's having a grand time. And he came from a household that had other cats, and the reason that they gave him up was because the other cats frightened him. They could come up behind him and jump on him, and he just was not aware if they're coming. Again, he can't hear, so he needs to be placed in a household with probably older children because the younger ones might intimidate him. And no other animals, because he's really frightened around other animals. But for someone that wants to give an awful lot of love to just one handsome kitten, this is the one. He's a dear.
He is a beautiful cat. Animal Tales is the next segment of our program. We will be featuring special interest stories involving animals in everyday life. If you have a special story you would like told, please call the Pet Stop at the number on your screen. Cindy Chimura is the Animal Control Officer for the Danvers Police Department. She has recently returned from Florida, where she surveyed the devastation and trauma from Hurricane Andrew, experienced not only by humans, but by animals as well.
I went down a month after the storm. Actually, it was the month anniversary. And driving down through Miami and into Homestead, the devastation was far more than a television camera could ever show you. The first thing I noticed was on the Florida Turnpike. The toll booths had blown away, so there was no toll. We just drove straight through the little cement area where there used to be buildings, but now the toll booths were gone, so there was no tolls. But into Homestead, it was just totally flattened. The foliage was totally destroyed. Homes flattened. Everything was gone. There was nothing there. And the shelter we worked at was on a 300-acre farm that was donated to the Humane Society. There were 300 and some odd dogs that went through my kennel, my shelter, and 200 cats that they had seen and placed into foster care. Every animal that left the shelter was put into a 30-day foster care program, and the person who was doing foster care could adopt the animal after the 30 days. These animals were shipped all over the country, California, Massachusetts, New York. Many people took them to give Florida a break, so they wouldn't have to take all of them.